Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Works studio. Find one thing to move your business forward today. With conversations, spotlights, interviews. Listen, follow, and subscribe on social media. Dear Business Coach Podcast. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. And don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. Okay. Well, here we go then. I'm going to say welcome to the Dear Business Coach podcast, Normia Vázquez Scales. So great to have you. Actually from the Amazon website where you can purchase the book, pardon my vernacular, Wordsmith at Large. So from about the author, Normia Vázquez Scales is an active and savvy mother, educator, entrepreneur, writer, poet, motivational speaker, and fashion coach. Normia passionately advocates and promotes balance to both adults and youth alike via educational mediums. Moreover, she renders niche styling and fashion consulting for her budding clientele via her image coaching vertical coined as Rags to Runway. In addition to Rags to Runway, Normia offers a repertoire of creative services via aesthetic verticals. And you have a background as a communication coach, so I have to read that too. With your coaching business, Enunciate at Recalibrating the Scales, which is an international venture and professional vertical launched to aid non-native executive C-suite professionals in enhancing and embellishing their American English elocution, speaking, and presentation skills. The portal between global business collaborations, courtesy of literal and figurative gateways, highways, and seaports, doors and windows have been activated. Our evolving era is ripe and opportune for constructing bridges, narrowing gaps, and language barriers to forge cohesive cross-cultural alliances. Normia is passionate and enthusiastic about imparting her profound affinity for language, linguistics, and vernacular to international recipients in the corporate arena. Simply stated, Normia is exceptionally enamored with communication in a plethora of regards and at the disposal of those receptive to heightening their American English skills amid sustaining their identity amid their communication journey. Wow, that's so beautiful. And Normia, today I'm here to ask you some questions about how we present ourselves. So why don't you tell me, what is Rags to Runway?
So Rags to Runway is, and it's an inspired concept, as an indication of the name, the title of it, to outfit other men, other women, all receptive to ideally being outfitted according to their body types and according to what they have at their disposal. So the object of the game for my particular concept is to use shopping as a last resort. So there is a show, or was a show on the cooking channel titled Pantry Raid. So it follows that similar concept of, rather than using food fare at your disposal, to repurpose and to utilize whatever you have on hand in your pantry, in your cupboards, in your refrigerator, in your kitchens, but using your fashion decor, your ensembles, your accessories, your whatever your regular fare is, your apparel coupled with your accessories, at your disposal and according to your body type. So I'm actually accessorizing it, using waist belts and things of that nature if you have them on hand, and scarves, whatever you accessorize to those rags, you could say, to convert them into runway fare. So that is by and large, what the concept entails.
Okay, awesome. So into Runway Fair. So I'm thinking we're getting dressed up to go where? I don't know where I'm going to be on a runway.
So, well, so the runway, just one of it's the term, use, to coin the actual practice, but converting something simple or something ordinary or something mundane into taking it to giving it an uplift or a glow up per se, if you want to use, modern day vernacular or sport terminology, I'll say. But just basically giving what you have at your disposal, using what you have at your disposal, having me to piece it together on you, according to your body type, for you to step out into whatever arena. So it could be your work arena, it could be if you're going on a date, if it's a special occasion, to ideally use what you have on hand. If we must resort to shopping, then we could very well do that, but I'm trying to spare the client of that unnecessary step if we can help it.
Right. Well, cool. Now I really like thinking about it like a pantry because that's pretty helpful. When I think about my pantry, it's kind of organized, right? I can kind of piece some things together for dinner. I sort of know what's in there, but if I dig around, there might be some things in there that I forgot about, right? Like a can of peppers or something that adds flavor. So how do we start? When I look at my closet, I'm not really very inspired. I'm glad you said shopping's the last resort. uh, but how do I get started looking at what's in my closet that I can use?
Okay, well, this is where I'm at your disposal. I would be at the disposal of you or at the disposal of whomever the receptive client is. But that's where I step into play, and we're able to pull things off the shelves, maybe some things that are under wraps, maybe some things that are tucked away and, like you said, forgotten about or just overlooked, and being able to use those things.
Okay, so overlooked caught my attention. So is there something that a lot of us tend to forget about? You said earlier, belts. What if I have belts that I, don't fit, or like you say, tucked away? Maybe they're a little dusty or been out of shape. What are we looking for?
So if there's something that we can repurpose, then by all means, we'll unshelve it. We can literally, figuratively dust it off and go ahead and put it to work, make it work for you. But, last resort, if in-store shopping is not an option, then we have online shopping. We could resort to other measures, for acquiring those accessories that may not be available to make that outfit pop, to make that dress pop. As funny as it may sound, but I use some of the darndest things, and I went in my rags to runway concept, for example. People don't think about this, but t-shirts.
Okay.
I've worn t-shirts and skirts. Sometimes if I'm around the house, you can pull your t-shirt up, and you have the sleeves on the side as flaps, but I've worn t-shirts and skirts. Actually, I have one, it's not a shirt, but it's the bottom half of a dress layered underneath what I'm wearing. Just as an extra layer, it looks like, okay, oh, she's wearing a skirt underneath a dress, or is that a longer, like a very blousy blouse that I belted off here at the waist, to create the A-line effect. And then it's like, no, actually, this is a dress underneath a dress. It looks like I'm wearing a skirt that's on, not a bias, but,
When you arrived in Floyd and we were getting ready to sit down, I said something about your dress and you told me that, and I was trying to remember what you said the trick was, if you will. And you said something about layers. So do you do that a lot? You will literally fold over a dress and then put a different top on over it?
Yes, I do lots of layering, lots of layering. If you So what I remember, it was a shorter dress, a handkerchief A-line dress that I wore. I had a broom skirt over that, so it looked as though I was wearing a top up top, but it was actually a dress. I just wanted the top portion portion of the dress exposed. So they're just clever ways, to don and to accessorize things.
Okay.
Here's another example. Ponchos. I wore, ponchos. You could wear a poncho as it is, as a poncho. I've even pulled that down, tied it along the sides, and now I have a handkerchief skirt. So now I just have to top it off with some sort of upper piece.
Is there a trick to picking out fabrics that will work together as layers?
I would say more so to a degree, lighter weight fabrics, more flexible fabrics, I would have to say. But I would say even more so colors.
Okay. I'm not great at colors. I know which colors I think coordinate or don't make my skin look too washed out, but I'm not great at it. So what do I need to know about the color basics, I guess?
So colors, so incorporating skin tone, you want to resort to those colors that are flattering. The colors that are flattering to your overall person, to your overall person and your skin tone. For myself, for example, what that looks like, bolder colors seem to complement me more. The fire colors, literal fire colors. So fuchsias, and what you see here, I'm wearing fire, orange, softer shades of orange, bolder mandarin orange, rust, shades of green. What are some other? Yeah, those are for golds, things of that, those color choices. And then muted fabrics. They say it's all a matter. So that's where the in-person, that one-on-one in-person consult, or the in-person interaction would come into play, which takes me back to not Rags to Runway, which is my endeavor, but Dress for Success.
Let's say that I'm going to a meeting or a networking event, for example. So there's a chance that I might be asked to stand up and share my name, for example. I might have the chance to speak and stand on stage, but I maybe not, but I want to be prepared for that, but also appear as a professional in my arena, in my profession, right? So if everybody else is wearing a black suit, am I supposed to wear a black suit too? I guess as women, maybe we have a little bit more leeway, but what are some tips for choosing your outfit for an event?
So choosing your outfit for an event. Now, I must confess that I am a proponent of breaking some rules within reason. So rules when it comes to color. I endorse the concept of standing out. So
Okay.
you might have a black tie affair, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to fall into the, everyone's going to be donned most likely in shades of, in black, in conservative colors. Okay. The style of the dress, the style of the whatever, of the piece, of the ensemble, of what you're wearing, that does matter as well. But I endorse coloring outside of the lines.
Standing out is what we want to do, right? So people can remember us. And so short of just wearing a big bright red suit to stand out, that's what you're shaking your head. No, don't do that. So that's why I ask you, okay, so color basics. I see your outfit right now. As you say, yes, colors of fire. It's bright, but I'm not distracted from paying attention to your face when you're speaking. I am, able to listen to you and look at Normia. So that's important too, right? How do you do that?
So I have a natural knack for it's so what I would encourage someone to keep in mind, or if I'm working with someone, it's like you want something, you want to think in terms of whatever you're wearing is being flattering.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's flattering, it's like you notice, but it's not adversely or adversely distracting. If it's going to call, it's more wow, drawing attention to, or from a complimentary standpoint versus a contrary standpoint. So there's a distinction between finding a middle ground between those two, where it's like, yes, you want to go bold, but whoa, there's, even with that, within reason, there are limits. Just enough to stand out, but not necessarily look like, you don't want to necessarily look like you have a horn, from your frontal lobe either. So yeah.
Or I'm noticing now is your clean neckline, right? So I'm getting lots of color, but there's nothing in the neck area that's taking me away from making contact with your eyes or looking at your smile. So I feel like that's a theme with your outfits, that there's lots of color, but your neckline's really, really clean. And then same thing with your skirts, right? There's lots of fabric and flow, but the frame line is fairly simple.
Yeah.
So I am getting lots of color and pop, and you could go out dancing if you wanted to, or you could, stand up and give a speech, or you look quite comfortable. You could be just out on the town shopping too, right?
Oh yes.
So not to diminish your outfit, but I think if you were just out on the town shopping, you would turn heads for sure. But yeah, so I think, am I onto something here about maybe choosing, like you're saying, stand out, but let it be flattering to you so as not to be distracting. Necklines and the shape of your skirt, or the shape, or how big your accessories are. Like you have a large silver leaf earring today. Again, it's big, it's beautiful, it's really fun, but it's not doing anything to take away or distract me from being able to make eye contact with you and see you while you're speaking. So you've chosen an accessory there that it goes with your outfit and is not distracting.
Yes.
So do you have tips for picking out jewelry?
Jewelry. I find with jewelry, I would say, it actually varies from person to person. And then skin tone is something that you want to incorporate. I know something that has more of a contrast.
Okay.
It's your skin tone. So if you, say for example, if you fair complexions, I don't know, well, it depends. It really depends, because there's some instances depending on the jewelry itself also. So it's not a set rule when it comes to that, other than literally, it's a matter of, okay, trying on just to see, okay, what complements my skin tone as well as my outfit is, as well. I have a tendency to go to gravitate towards. I love silver.
Me too.
And rose gold. That just a little pop. It doesn't have to be ginormous.
Right.
It doesn't have to be ginormous, especially to me. Depending on the color, choices. The colors sometimes will serve as your accessory. Like, so for example, this print that I have, it's pretty bold. It's pretty bold, so I could play the jewelry down with this a bit.
Hmm.
So if you have something that's more muted, you might want something that pops a little bit more.
I like silver and I like bangles and things, and I tend to end up sometimes with it when I'm dressing up, too many bracelets and they make too much noise, and that's probably not a great idea if I'm going to be moving and talking. What do you think about that?
Yes, I have to be mindful of that with the braces. My sister definitely she has an aversion to the sound of clinking, clinking glasses, the clinking glass and bracelets. So, I have on jade bracelets.
Mine too.
It's my watch. So that's something that I have to be cognizant of, or something, that I would encourage others to be cognizant of as well, depending on what the occasion. If it's during something formal, an interview, for example, then that would be an occasion where you may want to forego, wearing.
If you like using color, how much can I take of that into an interview?
Okay, so for myself, like I said, I have a tendency to break the rules. That I had my trademark. What was it? Gray, and it was a gray suit that I would wear, like with a little silver gray. There was another with conservative colors. It was print. It was an ivory, navy blue print. But especially now in the day and age of us conducting more virtual interviews, I've learned, and being a student or participant on other platforms, that the rules are changing in that regard as well. In term, which is why we're seeing professionals in media, for example, anchor women in particular, reporters. You notice that they're wearing bolder solids.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually broke the rule because I technically should have worn a solid jacket, which I'm looking at now as a solid orange jacket. But it's recommended that there was a recommendation from one particular coach. She wasn't a fashion coach, she was a business coach that recommended us on a master class to gravitate towards solids. Mm-hmm. So you'll see shades of yellow, and canary yellow, and orange, the fuchsias. You'll see a vibrant blue, or maybe even a vibrant shade of purple. That you're seeing more of that if you watch the news and certain programming, media programming, you'll notice that gone are the days of the traditional suit.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, layers make it easy to be comfortable, and that I think, I mean, every woman listening probably would agree. But also just, coming in and out of different buildings, different rooms, I get hot and cold. I get, I would like to have some options too, as far as that goes. Are there ways that you can put together? So if I get good at dressing in layers and I'm packing a small suitcase for a weekend, for example, you have a little checklist that you use for yourself. Like, I know I need 2 dresses and 2 skirts, and I can interchange those with tops. Do you have a formula for that?
So for myself, I have a tendency just to cram and pack as much of my closet as virtually possible, because it's that notion of you'd rather have it and need it than need it and not have it. But for from a practical standpoint, what I would recommend at the very least, not necessarily doing what I do and taking everything but the kitchen sink, um, using vacuum bags to compress all of these different articles of clothing. But I would suggest you want to bring ensembles, for example, you might want to bring solid color slacks. If you're looking to pack light, then you want to bring, solid color tops or bottoms, something that you can interchange with other pieces. So if you have, maybe a couple pairs of jeans, a couple of skirts, and then a larger variety to choose from in terms of what you wear in terms of your blouses and your upper body apparel, I would say.
Great. Do you pay much attention to shoes for yourself?
Yes, I do. But I do have a tendency to, especially as of late, I have my go-to footwear. I said I'm constantly used, so it's the variety of actual apparel, but in terms of the footwear, that pair. I'm like right now I'm wearing cowgirl, not right literally right now, but I've been wearing cowgirl boots.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral color, they're shade of brown, brown
Mm-hmm.
leather cowgirl boots. You could wear that with some of everything. Here in Chapel Hill in North Carolina is pretty popular. I've noticed that my entire residency. I'm like, wow, she has on cowgirl boots with her with jeans, or well, of course with jeans and a mole. She's wearing shorts, or she's wearing a dress, or she's wearing a skirt or a mini skirt, and she has on cowgirl boots. But depending on how you piece it all together, the full package, it could work. It's all in how you're piecing it together.
But that's fun. Boots always, I'm a big boot fan, and I have a couple of pairs of boots that are a go-to. You use the word go-to, and meaning I think I can pair them with everything, the things that take up the most space. So then I end up thinking, okay, well, I have to pick between black and brown. And that is such a hard choice if I want a couple of different options. So I end up trying to pretend that everything coordinates. I'll just pick black or brown and then wear whatever I'm wearing with whatever pair of shoes I brought and hope that it works. And I'm not sure if I'm doing a great job.
I would have to say it's all in the color blend. Like for something like what I'm wearing now, it's it could be a choice of either black or either earth tone, black or brown, black or a shade of brown, tan.
Right.
If it were, let me think. If you're wearing, basic, if you're wearing white or wearing black and white, then quite naturally it would be black footwear.
Is the dress for success and the rags to runway something that you can help me with over the phone? Do I need to be in your area? How would I ask you for help if I want some coaching on this?
Okay. So actually, to answer that question, either or. Yes. So there's a flexible option of both virtual and in person. You can find me, well, my email address is manifest@recalibratingthescales.com. That's one of the most efficient ways to reach me.
Okay, so we wanted to send Normia an email and follow you as well. Now, buy your book on Amazon. I can go to your website and I can read about all of your coaching options there. I've got some takeaways here. Normia is telling us how to pay attention to layers, look for tucked away and overlooked items, and learn how to use accessories.
What else do you need to know? I would have to say, speaking to men and women alike, mankind, womankind, it is our birthright. It's like you have a birthright. There's a birthright for us all that we should unabashedly claim. If you desire to look your best, then, by all means, it's warranted. You warrant that. You deserve that. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It doesn't matter, if you're a stay-at-home mom with the children, or if you're an active, career man or career woman, stay-home mom, stay-home gentleman, or the contrary. So whatever your status, whatever your occupation, it's at your disposal to have it. I mean, I'd say, claim it. It's your right to want to look good, if you deem so appropriate, if you deem fit, if you desire. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast today, Normia. And we will talk to you again soon. Everybody follow Normia Vázquez Scales, enunciate at Recalibrating the Scales. And that's Normia Vázquez Scales on Facebook, LinkedIn, and at enunciatingthescales.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Works studio in Floyd, Virginia. This has been an episode of Dear Business Coach.